the day NASA opened a space capsule and couldn't believe what they found. Introduction to NASA's most anticipated journey. In September 2023, a small capsule pierced Earth's atmosphere at an astonishing speed. It came from deep space, from a destination almost forgotten by the human eye, but unforgettable for science. Its contents were a treasure like no other, dust and fragments from an asteroid that had been wandering the solar system since before Earth even existed. This was not just a return mission, it was a time capsule sent from the dawn of the cosmos. Its name, OSIRIS-REx, was already destined to make history. The capsule had been launched 7 years earlier, in 2016, with an ambitious goal: to reach the asteroid Bennu, a celestial body about 500 meters in diameter that could contain clues about the origin of the solar system and the primitive ingredients of life. When it finally touched the surface of the asteroid in 2020, the spacecraft collected a valuable sample that would set the course of planetary science for the coming decades. The re-entry was calculated with millimetric precision. More than 100,000 kilometers from Earth, the capsule was released to begin its descent. It reached temperatures exceeding 2,700 degrees Celsius, enough to melt steel, but was protected by a state-of-the-art heat shield that kept intact its most precious cargo: rocks and dust more than 4.5 billion years old. Nothing like this had ever returned from outer space. The landing took place in the Utah desert, in the western United States, within an area roughly the size of the city of Chicago. The descent was assisted by parachutes that slowed the speed to less than 20 kilometers per hour. In just 10 minutes, the capsule went from traveling faster than a bullet to resting in the sand. The operation was flawless, and the entire world watched in awe. A sealed capsule and a mystery impossible to open. After its controlled landing, the capsule was retrieved by a specialized NASA team. Transported by helicopter to a clean room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, its contents had to be kept completely isolated from Earth's air. Any contact with oxygen or moisture could alter the original composition of the space dust. For that reason, a nitrogen-sealed glove box was used, a controlled environment that would prevent contamination of the samples. There, the most delicate operation began, opening the capsule and discovering what it had brought back from the depths of asteroid Bennu. But something unexpected happened. Although the technicians had trained for months and every step had been meticulously rehearsed, the lid of the main container did not open as planned. 2 of the 35 screws were stuck. Dust from the asteroid had apparently infiltrated the threads, jamming the locking mechanism. There was no compatible tool that could remove them without damaging the seal or compromising the sterile environment. It was necessary to design a brand new tool from scratch, a sort of surgical screwdriver made of non-magnetic stainless steel and approved for use inside the glove box. Meanwhile, on the outside of the capsule, 70 grams of dust and small stones were found. This material, known as the bonus sample, was not part of the main container but turned out to be a scientific surprise. It was more than the mission had promised to collect in total. Although not completely pristine, its study began immediately. Even so, researchers knew the real treasure was inside, untouched, and they waited eagerly for the sealed compartment to be opened. After 3 months of work, with new tools and precise maneuvers, the team finally managed to open the core of the container. What appeared before their eyes was even more surprising: 1 additional grams of pristine material, never before touched by Earth's atmosphere. In this way, NASA not only met its goal but far exceeded it. In total, the recovered material doubled what had been planned. Asteroid Bennu had offered more than anyone dared to imagine: the hidden message in asteroid dust. The true value of the OSIRIS-REx mission is not measured in grams, but in the clues each particle can offer about the origin of life. When analyzing the contents of asteroid Bennu, scientists found something extraordinary: organic compounds, hydrated minerals, and presolar grains. The latter are authentic cosmic relics. They formed long before the birth of the sun, in the final stages of life of ancient stars. When those stars exploded as supernovae, they scattered their elements into space. Some of that material floated for millions of years until it became part of interstellar dust clouds, from which new stars, planets, and in this case, asteroids like Bennu were born. The presolar grains preserved inside the asteroid allow astronomers to study the history prior to the solar system. Some show chemical compositions typical of red giant stars, while others are linked to supernovae. It is like holding in your hands the primitive bricks with which our cosmic neighborhood was built. This matter, resistant to the passage of time, remained encapsulated within Bennu for more than 4.5 billion years, waiting to be revealed. In addition to these grains, researchers found minerals such as serpentine and pyrrhotite, both formed in the presence of liquid water. This suggests that Bennu, or the body it came from, may have had internal oceans or undergone hydrothermal processes. And if there was water, could microscopic life have existed? There's no direct evidence of it, but the presence of compounds such as phosphates essential in the structure of DNA raises more questions than answers. These discoveries suggest that Bennu was once part of a larger body, possibly a protoplanet with favorable chemical conditions. The results obtained so far only scratch the surface of knowledge. Most of the material has been stored in ideal conditions so that future generations, with more advanced technologies, can continue the exploration. Science moves forward with patience, and this legacy promises answers to questions we don't yet know how to ask. In that small handful of space, dust may lie the key to our very existence. The story Bennu tells has only just begun, the future that takes off from stardust. The OSIRIS-REx mission did not end with the return of Bennu's material. Shortly after releasing the capsule that descended into the Utah desert, the main spacecraft fired its thrusters and embarked on a new journey. Its destination is now the asteroid Apophis, which it will reach in 2029. This extension of the project, now known as OSIRIS-Apex, represents a new opportunity to continue exploring the secrets of the minor bodies of the solar system, but without the need to bring samples back to Earth. Instead, the spacecraft will approach within just 5 meters of Apophis's surface and stir up its terrain with a burst from its engines to analyze in detail what lies beneath the outer layer. The interest in Apophis is no coincidence. For years, it was considered a possible impact threat to Earth, although the most recent measurements have ruled out that possibility for at least the next 100 years. However, its extremely close pass in 2029, at less than 40,000 kilometers from Earth's surface, is a unique opportunity. Studying it up close will make it possible to understand how a planet's gravitational forces affect the structure and composition of an asteroid. Meanwhile, Bennu's legacy continues to grow. The collected samples have been distributed among laboratories around the world and will be the subject of study for decades. Scientists specializing in astrobiology, organic chemistry, mineralogy, and planetary geology are deeply engaged in their analysis. Each tiny fragment holds a record of ancient processes, cosmic collisions, chemical reactions, water flows, and even traces of the elements necessary for life. These kinds of investigations not only reveal the history of the past, but also serve as preparation for the future. The exploration of asteroids is key to protecting Earth, understanding the origin of planets, and, one day, harnessing the mineral resources of these bodies. In Bennu's dust is written a story that connects distant stars, ancient worlds, and the birth of life on our planet. If you found this content fascinating, subscribe to Midblown Space and turn on the notification bell. Here we bring you the most mind-blowing mysteries of the universe every week. Because in Stardust, there are answers that change everything.